Okay, so I had some Zoom issues after I was about to start looking in the Katsudo textbook. So we're going to do that now. Okay, so this is going to be part 2 of lesson 8. Okay, so I don't know if I missed this in the Rikai textbook or if it's just not in there, but at the bottom of page 69 in the Katsudo textbook, so the white one, at the bottom it says the, so verb, mas, with the mas crossed out, masenka. So the example says ikimasu turns into ikimasenka. As you know, masen is like the negative form of something, but in this context, it's have you done this kind of. So in the number 2 that's right next to it, so there's the 2 with the little I right next to it for the examples, and then there's a 1 and a 2. And number 2, it says bijutsukan ni ikimasen ka? So have you gone to the art museum? Or you could say bijutsukan ni ikimashou, which means, so ikimashou is like, let's go do this. So mashou is like positive, like let's go. And masenka is like, have you done this yet? And then I'm pretty sure, yeah, on page 71 in the Katsudo textbook, the little box right up here, this one right there. It's a verb minus the mas, tai. So you want to do something. So tai is like, oh, I want to do this. So the example is ryo ga e shimasu turns into ryo ga e shitai. The next example is ikimasu turns into ikitai. Last example is kaimasu turns into kaitai. So you want to, so kaitai is like you want to buy something. So kaimasu is the action verb to buy. And then kaitai is like, oh, I want to buy, etc., etc. And that's pretty much all that's in the Katsudo textbook. So now we're going to look at Canvas and look at some more examples and the grammar notes. Okay, so this is going to be the lesson 8 grammar notes that's at the bottom in modules under class notes. So the first thing that it talks about, it says doko ni ikimasu ka? So where will you go or where do you go? And then place ni ikimasu. So I go to this place. So going back to, I think, either earlier in this lesson or lesson 7 when I went over this, the example I used was McDonald's. So McDonald's ni ikimasu. Or if you want to say that you're going home, if you're going home, you could say uchi ni ikimasu. If you're going to a restaurant, you could say restaurant ni ikimasu. Okay, and then down here, mo means already. So mo ikimashita ka? So it's in the past. Mashita is past. Iki, so go. Ka is the question mark in Japanese, and mo is already. So have you already gone or have you already been there? You can either say hai mo ikimashita. So yes, I have already gone. Or you can say ie mada desu. No, I have not yet. So mada is not yet. And this is, according to Yates Sensei, this is the best answer when you say you haven't done something. Or if you haven't like gone somewhere, you can say ie mada itte imasen. Itte imasen. Which is just a more polite way of saying it. So you put the verb into te form and then imasen. Okay, the reasons are hidden. So I don't know what this means. I don't know why that's in here. But ie mada ikimasen. No, I don't or I won't go. Which is kind of a bit rude-ish to say. So this is probably, the best thing to go with. Because you're like, oh no, I haven't gone yet, versus no, I'm not going. And then this next concept, it says stem ni ikimasu. So to go to do something. So for this example, the stem would be this part. My thing will work. This part is the stem because it's what you're focusing on. So eiga, which is movie, o mimasu. So you go see a movie. So remember, mimasu is to see. So go see a movie plus ikimasu, which is to go. So eiga o mi, you're going to drop the mas. So mi ni, because remember stem ni, ikimasu. So eiga o mi ni ikimasu. So you go to watch the movie. In the second example, it's kohi, which is coffee, o nomimasu, so drink. So you drink coffee plus ikimasu. So you would combine this. You would drop the mas in nomimasu, and you would say kohi o mi, or sorry, nomi. So kohi o nomi, drop the mas, add ni instead. Kohi o nomi ni ikimasu. So you go to drink coffee. Okay, and then stem masenka is a soft invitation to do something. So like, oh, shall we do this? Shall we do that? So ikimasu turns into ikimasenka. So it's kind of like when you say something like, oh, should we, or like, should we not do this? When you're like, oh, do you not want to go to this restaurant? That's kind of how it's translated almost. It's like, oh, you're being polite about it, because if they don't want to go and you're saying masen, which is the negative form of it, it's kind of like giving them a way out of if they don't want to go. And then the second example is nomimasu, which turns into nomi masenka, so shall we drink? And then the next concept is masho, so let's do something. So stem masho. So ikimasu turns into ikimasho, so let's go. Nomimasu turns into nomimasho, so let's drink. Okay, and then the next concept is something you would say when you're being very direct about something. So nani ga shitai desu ka? So shitai, so shimasu is like to do. You turn that into tai form. So shitai, so you want to do something. So shitai desu ka is want to do something. Nani ga shitai desu is what do you want to do? So the format that you would typically use is blank ga blank tai desu. So I want to do blank. So before the ga, you're going to have typically a noun. And then after ga, you're going to have a verb, because if you remember shitai, shimasu, to do, is a verb. So the verb is going to go here. And verbs always come at the end of the sentence, unless you are combining two verbs in a sentence, then sometimes it'll come in the middle of a sentence, but typically there will always be a verb at the end of a sentence when you're using a verb. Okay, so the first example is gohan, which is rice, ga tabetai desu. So do you want to eat rice? Okay, and mizu, which is water, ga nomitai desu. So you want to drink water. Remember, ga is for preference, used with tai form, changed o to ga. So typically you would use o when you're using verbs because it indicates action, but because we're showing a preference for something and we're using tai form, we're going to switch o to ga. Okay, and then this next concept is these two. So this has to do with when something is before or after a noun. So you do a noun before, etc., etc. Noun after, so after a noun. So basically, so before the noun, you do this. After the noun, you do this. So the example is テストの前に勉強します. So before you take your test, you study. And then this example down here is クラスの後で宿題をします. So 宿題 is homework. So you, after class, you do your homework. And the reason you use no, the possessive particle, so テストの or クラスの is because it's a possessive. So you would do this because of, so you would, this is related to this directly. So あとクラス, they're related directly to each other. So you would use no. Same thing with mae. You would mae, which means before, relates to doing the test. So you would use no. Okay, and then this is plain form, desu ka. So it's an explanation of something. So you know desu ka with a K sound is a question, ka is for questions. Desu ga with a G is explanations. So it is, the example here is toire, so toilet, ni ikitai desu ka. So you're explaining how to go to the toilet. So if you're like, oh, I'm trying to find the bathroom somewhere. So if you want to go, so ikitain, it's another way to say ikitai. So ikitain desu ka. So you want to go to the toilet. So you need an explanation for it, kind of. I hope that kind of explains that concept. If not, just let me know and I can explain it either through Discord, you can message me on Canvas, or you can message Imhof Sensei. Okay, and let's look at the grammar notes that Imhof Sensei has on Canvas. So this one goes over the mo verb mashita and the mada desu. So mo verb mashita used when asking if someone has already done the verb or if they have not yet. And mada desu is used when someone has not done that action. Okay, so mo is already. And then there's the verb mashita. And then someone would say, yes, I already have done so, ka. So, mo tabemashita ka? So sorry, this is kind of laid out weird. So it's mo verb mashita ka. Mo means already. So you're asking a question. So mo tabemashita ka? Have you already eaten? And then down here it says wa verb mashita. So you would confirm that yes, I have done so, indicating what you have eaten. For the example, I did. I mada desu. Okay. I see what's going on here. So this is hi, but the format is weird on here. So hi, verb mashita. So hi tabemashita. So you did eat. Then this one is ie mada desu. So no, I have not eaten. So here's the example. Shukudai o shimashita ka? Have you done your homework? You can either say hi, shimashita. So yes, I did, or ie mada desu. Or no, I have not done my homework yet, or no, not yet. Okay, and then I believe there's only two more concepts in here. So this one's going to be the noun ni, verb ni, ikimasu, or kimasu. So you could have either a noun or a verb, and then it's going to be ni ikimasu, or noun verb ni kimasu, or any other verb that you want to use. So here's an example. Kaimono, so shopping, ni ikimasu. So I go shopping. Then this one is tomodachi ga uchi ni asobi に kimashita. So we have our friend's house. So you're going to your friend, so your friend's coming over to your house to play, which is asobi. Asobi means to play. Not necessarily meaning like, oh, you're gonna like play tag or something, but you're like going to hang out essentially. And kimas or kimashita means to like do something. And so because the verb is what you're focusing on here, it's going to be verb ni kimashita. So for this example, kaimono is a noun. And this one, asobi, which means to play, ni kimashita. That's the verb. Okay, and then here's a note from Imhoff Sensei. The verb can be made by taking out mas from the mas, as in asobimas, turns into asobi. Okay, and then the next concept, which is the last one, is noun no mae ni, noun no ato de. So this is once again the before the noun, you do this verb, or after this noun, you do this verb. So let's start with before. So used when talking about something before something else. So noun no mae ni, verb mas. So asagohan, breakfast, no mae ni. So before breakfast, you sanpo o shimasu. So sanpo is walk. Shimasu means to do. So before breakfast, you take a walk. And then this next one is used when talking about doing something after something else. So it's noun no ato de verb mas. Okay, and then the example is asagohan, so breakfast, no ato de, so after, shigoto o shimasu. So after breakfast, you go to work. Okay, and same thing with the node. It's possessive because ato is directly related to asagohan in this example. And then de is by what means you do something. So you'd use de because you're focusing on by what means do you go to work. And you would use ni for this one because you're focusing on the first half of the sentence. So before breakfast, you're going to take a walk. So it's indicating an action versus de, which is used to indicate by what means you do something. So I believe that's all the concepts in lesson 7 and 8 that I have gone through. This is part 2 of lesson 8. If you have any questions, let me, Andrea-san, or Imhoff Sensei know, and we will help you. And I hope this helped with learning the concepts. Sayonara.